So it is a rare in-studio appearance. My Fox News colleague of 10 years now will debut the Ingraham angle immediately following Hannity on Fox, debuting October the 30th, because she needed a few weeks to get her act together.
Oh, you know something? I am the abuse I take, James.
She needed a few weeks to go on vacation.
You know something? You have such a fancy studio. I have a very down-home studio. Like, you got like 15 screens. What is this, NORAD? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 15 in the other room.
3 over there.
You got the ode to Hannity all over the place. This is amazing.
What is the Conservative Solutions Caucus?
No.
Wait a minute. I got
You have your head on George Washington's body superimposed. What is that?
Why are you lying?
You were at Valley Forge. That's a good move.
Why are you lying? Anyway,
I love that.
so that's the forgotten man sitting on the bench.
Okay. Yeah,
and there's Donald Trump helping the forgotten man. Okay. And I try and remember what this election was about, because for a big part of my life, I was the forgotten man. Had $200 in my bank account.
It came from the forgotten man and woman. Yeah. That's where we came from. That's why we're hungry.
You know, I'm glad you wrote this book. It's called Billionaire at the Barricades, The Populist Revolution from Reagan to Trump. Who was it that wrote this? Oh, they're like, we go from William F. Buckley to the likes of Hannity and Ingraham and talk radio. Is that what this is? Is this the movement? I'm thinking, I happen to revere Buckley. I mean, he's a brilliant, brilliant man.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And God and man. But... You know, are they going to talk about his irreverence? I remember a few debates with Gore Vidal, if he ever said the things he
hilarious.
said then.
That was the Buckley we really liked, taking on Vidal. Yeah, well, the party has been in this family feud mode since about 2007, when they tried to push the Bush amnesty down everyone's throats. They tried to put Harriet Miers, the ultimate act of cronyism, on the Supreme Court. And that was talk radio that basically stopped both things. The immigration amnesty that was being pushed back then by John McCain and a lot of Democrats, and George W. Bush, and the Myers nomination. Thank goodness we defeated both, because now we have Sam Alito on the Supreme Court, and we have Donald Trump. So I think the Reagan Revolution brought everyone together, because Reagan came in, Sean, at a time when we had to defeat the Soviet Union, when Jimmy Carter had taken our country down a ravine. We had the Iranian hostage crisis, and Reagan came along after almost winning the nomination in 76, and with a conservative populist zeal, he revolutionized politics in the country. You and I wouldn't be doing what we're doing without Reagan. So
no doubt about it.
He is the reason we have a meeting. Without Reagan, there would have been no Fox News. Right, so there would have been no Limbaugh.
Here's my question, though. I look at Trump's agenda, and I don't care if it's his economic plan, 7 brackets to 3, repatriation, energy independence, corporate taxes, lowering the rates across the board for the most part. We can get into the details later. Immigration, secure the borders, be identifying evil in our time, something Obama wouldn't do. What part of his agenda is not conservative? Because, I mean, we throw around these terms, populist, nationalist.
Yep.
But I look at Trump's agenda as conservative. I've always been a Reagan conservative. I've not changed.
Yeah, well, Reagan used the Make America Great Again. That was one of his first commercials, as everyone remembers. And his point from 76 on, really from 64 on, was without a strong, vibrant American economy, we're no good to the rest of the world. Because if America sees that the system at home is rigged against them and is not really working for the everyman, it's just working for a very small veneer of elites, then they're not going to have any desire to do anything in any other countries, any foreign countries. So Reagan understood that. When he went to blue collar America and said, you don't have to vote Democrat anymore, there's a new way forward. Trump actually did a similar thing. There are different people. Obviously, Trump's not a politician. He doesn't speak with the same, poetic,
they hate that.
With the same poetry of Reagan. But remember, the same Democrats who despise Reagan and the same old style Republican Party that hated Reagan in 76 called him a force of disruption.
No, they actually called him, Republicans were the one that called him an amiable dunce.
Yeah, and he was Ronnie Reagan. He was going to blow us all up. He was going to get us into World War III. What are they saying about Trump? Corker yesterday? He was going to get us into World War III. It's exactly what they said about Reagan, because Reagan didn't want to do the détente anymore. He wanted peace through strength.
Right.
He thought we could bring the Soviet Union down by a stronger U.S. economy and a bigger military. And he was laughed at for that.
You know what's amazing? I watched this Corker thing go back and forth, and I don't think Corker doesn't get it.
No.
The Senate doesn't get it. Do you realize they've been there? They're now in their 10th month since Trump has been president. What have they accomplished? They've maybe approved a third of the president's
VA thing.
The VA thing was a big deal, and no doubt Gorsuch on the Supreme Court, give credit where credit is due.
Yep.
If it wasn't for the president stepping out today with Rand Paul and using his statutory authority on the issues involving health care, we wouldn't get anything done.
Yep.
Everything the president could do himself, he's done.
Exactly. And we heard yesterday and today on some of the other cable channels, we heard, Well, the president just doesn't want to pass legislation. The president just wants to bully people and to appeal to his 30% talk radio audience. And I said to that, how many pieces of legislation have arrived at his door on his desk that he hasn't signed? He even signed the Russian sanctions bill, which frankly was a stupid bill. He signed it reluctantly, but he wanted to play along and play nice with the establishment there, and he did that. But I'm telling you, the establishment Republicans, the McConnells, the Corkers, the McCains, the Lindsey Grahams of the world, we can work with them on certain issues, but on some issues, there's just a break in the family, and it's not coming back. That's not coming back.
So they're not Reagan conservatives. So in other words,
I would argue no. I would argue no. They're globalists.
The one that is the bigger Reagan conservative would be Trump.
I think Donald Trump, and it's so odd to think about it, but a guy who comes from Manhattan, who grew up as a son of privilege, has a closer connection to the heartbeat of the American working class than any of these Republicans on Capitol Hill. And I mean any of them, which is stunning. That's a stunning thing.
If his plan was implemented, those people in those pictures, and I'm not in them, thank you very much, but John McNaughton is a great
declaration.
No, I actually have the original. Oh. That's a copy. I bought the original. That guy sitting on the bench, and you've got one side liberals, the other side conservative presidents, and Obama stomping on the Constitution. But if we would implement those economic plans, Reagan created 20 million new jobs, doubled revenues to the government. It was, up to that time, the longest period of peacetime economic growth in history. It can be duplicated.
It can be.
Then why would they resist it?
Well,
why?
Because if Trump is successful, think of what that does to their brand of republicanism, which has been really riding on the coattails of Reagan without a lot of accomplishments. They are at their heart, their very heart, they're not working class conservatives. They're not, most of them aren't from the people that we're from. I'm sorry, they're not. Most of them they're from a different
privilege,
breed, which is okay because you can be privileged and actually get it. But they are, when push comes to shove, keeping wages low for corporate America by streaming people into the country. And they're for these global trade deals that have deindustrialized the Middle West. That's why all these states turned out for Trump. They've seen their livelihood destroyed, their families oftentimes broken up. They got all these people addicted to opioids. We had a hopelessness in America, Sean, that was so it was so transparent, and I felt it the night of November 6th in Leesburg, Virginia, 2 days before the election. It was a Sunday night, and it was cold. It was maybe, 45 degrees. At midnight, there were 12,000 people waiting for Donald Trump to make his final trip on the campaign. I was there.
All right, stay right there. I want to know, you were sort of in the forefront of leading the effort against Eric Cantor, and you were successful, and Dave Brat took his place.
Yep.
And then we saw Roy Moore in Alabama, and just this weekend, Steve Bannon says, this is just
we're just starting.
We're just
starting. Going.
All right, we'll take a break. Laura Ingraham is with us. Her brand new book out. We put it up on Hannity.com. It's called Billionaire at the Barricades, The Populist Revolution from Reagan to Trump.
By the way, I'm going to be in Philadelphia area on Thursday night, and then I'm going to be, all the tour stops are on LauraIngraham.com. But Philly, I want to see a big Philly turnout on Thursday night.
As we continue, Laura Ingraham is in studio with us today. 800-941-SEAN is our number. We've got an investigation coming up into the very latest in the Debbie Wasserman Schultz scandal. So you wrote Billionaire at the Barricades. We saw what happened to Roy Moore in Alabama. You were in the forefront of going up against Eric Cantor, and as a result, I think we got a far better congressman in David Brat. And Steve Bannon is basically saying this is just the beginning, because if the Senate's not going to do their job and they're not going to get things accomplished and they're going to stop the agenda, then let's replace them. I agree with him.
I think he's totally right. And I'm going to be with Bannon with Kelli Ward in Phoenix next week.
Now, I'm supporting Kelli Ward.
Yeah, so we're doing a huge event for her. So it's Bannon and I and some other friends, I guess you.
By the way, she's going to beat Jeff Flake.
Oh, Jeff Flake is one of the most unpopular, untethered to reality senators. Mm-hmm. He's a globalist, open borders, complete open markets. Doesn't matter if China's getting stronger. And he is a constant thorn in the side of this administration. He did not understand what the election was all about. And the people have had enough. I mean, just like on your show, Sean, my listeners in Phoenix go crazy. They're like, how did we get this guy? They always campaign as one thing, and then they govern as something totally different. Same with McCain.
By the way, I think Corker would have lost in Tennessee.
Absolutely. That's why he was getting out.
Corker
was on his way out. He, barely won by the skin of his teeth last time around. He was scared last time around, and he managed to win. But this time, forget about it. The populist winds are blowing
through. Who do you
like
like so far early in Tennessee?
Well, Marsha Blackburn's running. I like Marsha, but I want to see what the real field is, because I'm not sure she's nationalist enough for me, frankly. I mean, she's been there for a while. I like her a lot. But we'll see. I'm waiting to see.
She's actually come up with her own version of the penny plan that actually goes further than the version I've advocated all these years. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm happy to look
I'm not making I'm not making decisions until the time.
No. We have plenty of time on that.
And I guess they're even going after Orrin Hatch now in Utah.
Well, again, it's Orrin Hatch, God bless him. He's a nice man. He could not be a nicer person.
No.
Lamar Alexander, Thad Cochran. I mean, these people are like, should be on the set of Cocoon. I mean, this is just, we've got to go. I mean, this is
By the way,
not.
Is that pool real? I want to find that pool.
This is, I mean, we do not.
The pool with the pods.
Oh, my God. It's time to say goodbye. They're in their late 70s. Do they have no interests other than shuffling over to the Capitol every now and then to go to these black tie dinners raising money? I mean, 77 years old, 79 years old, 82 years old. I mean, they've just got to, it's not a lifetime job security act running for the Senate. I'm tired of all of them.
All right, so I'm looking at your book. I've been reading it this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting me an early copy. It's just out today in bookstores everywhere. It's on Hannity.com. Also, you're going to be doing a bunch of book event speeches, I guess, along with the book signings in Philly and Myrtle Beach and D.C. You're headed to Oklahoma City, Scottsdale, Arizona, you had to put West Palm Beach.
Yeah, well, I had to go down there for
I have to hang out at the Breakers.
I had to go check out your property down there.
I don't have any property down in West Palm Beach.
You're the landed gentry. You went from the construction site to being the landed gentry. Are you kidding me?
I don't have property in West Palm Beach.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's the one county in Palm Beach County where you don't have property.
No, I'm on the other coast.
You actually own the Panhandle. Are you kidding me?
I don't have any property in the Panhandle.
Okay.
Keep guessing.
Naples. Okay.
I do have a condo in Naples. All right, 800-941-SHOW. We'll see you on Hannity tonight. It's up on Hannity.com. Quick break.